Greetings all. That's right, I have another one to do after this. I forgot about that. Much love, everyone. Blessings. That's right, I have the podcast I'm going to post. Yeah, it's been a long night. So, much love, everyone. Do a galactic update of what is going on in ET universe. Most likely it's to be around 20 minutes. So, blessings all. Much love. And what we're doing is opening up to all races at this time. Of course, we only have time for a few. Possibly during Saturday, I'll have a longer one. We'll see how things go. So, blessings on. Here we go. Greetings. Blessings to you. Once again, this is Neiman from the Essassani race. Essassani. At this point in your evolution, it does not truly matter where we are from. What matters most is the message and what it does for those in their galactic upbringing. As you know, that you're going into a trance state as for your cleanse of your earth. But this won't take much time as for it to connect to all of you in a way of taking you into more of a spiritual knowledge of where you are heading. What it seems to us, your reptilian races of the positive are maneuvering well within your species to bring more of a positivity within many of you in this transitional state. Yes, the lower vibrations are working as hard as they can to keep those at a lower vibration as much as possible. They have their people here, meaning their ground crew. You see of the light workers, they have a light worker ground crew. Well, they have many of your lower vibrational beings have their ground crew here also. Some are seen as skeptics. I believe that will click some of your minds open slightly of how that truly works. There's different versions of the lower vibrational skeptic. Some have dismissed this altogether as for spiritual connections. Not necessarily they are with a low vibrational being, but some are. For example, your James Randi, that is not with a low vibrational being at all. He is just pissed off at the world from what we can see. As for the galactic communities, as for spiritual communities, he did not get what he wanted in a past life. So in that way, he does whatever he can to debunk spirituality. Yes, the psychic forces are not perfect, and he is more than happy to inflate his ego as he exposes that, but not realizing that he is a spiritual person also with psychic abilities that he is well aware of, but still chooses to ignore, as do many skeptics, which is fine. Part of your galactic upbringing, which is fine. That is part of your test here. But realize there are many low vibrational beings here that have their ground crew that will attack lighter beings as much as possible in your human form, here reincarnated now. not to worry. But as you go into a more vibrational state, they will go into overtime to worry over vibration as much as possible, throwing out words of fraud or whatever they can come up with. The best they can, not realizing they are part of the program of a negativity. Now they can let go of this and go into more of a positive frame of mind, but it's unlikely for the most part because they have trained themselves. They have made sure they will not wake up for anything, as you can tell in your environment. Many of those skeptics of a negativity on the attack mode, you can say, are in for the attack, let's put it that way, are unlikely to recognize a spiritual energy within themselves and their own psychic abilities. It is just the way it is. As for the what, yes, they're a test for you, but also they are being tested also. How long can they hold on to that darkness and they can hold on to it? They do whatever they can to lower their vibration by using substances such as drinking, smoking, and other apparitions to keep their vibration low, to make that ego feel like it is being fulfilled. Reason we are mentioning this, as your light worker crew becomes more of a lighter state, you will be going through these, what do you call them, running into these type of beings here and there. Some will, not all. But as is just to open your minds to what is going on here at this time. Yes, you're going to a crystal state of mind. Yes, your soul is going to a crystal state of mind, connected to your spirit, connected to your other side, to your angels, to your aliens, to your spirit guides. You're underway. But yes, there are many hurdles to get to that and to test your spirituality. How what do you call it? How devoted are you into this? Is part of your test. Are you fully to jump in altogether or halfway? But that which is fine is part of your upbringing. It is fine. However direction you want to go. There's no right or wrong. Whatever you feel is right. High vibration, low vibration. Whatever it is that is right for you. There are spiritual traps out there. Yes. That are there designed to confuse you. And these are low vibrational beings that are doing this. They have many, as you call it, traps, and they're not even aware of them. Those human versions, the humans that are part of these, sending off these traps here and there, they are unaware of what they are capable of doing as for setting these things up. But these are just tests. But also they are being tested, as I said before. But not to divulge into that, your Palladian energies is increasing also your ground crew energies in the positive. For much, where your Weirins are bringing much assistance here, your felines and your human counterparts also are bringing much assistance. As for gold, as for crystal energy, to bring in more of an enlightenment into your world, meaning your money system will be enhanced, not decreased, only because it's there to assist you in this soul upbringing. And then eventually it will be removed, as for your economy being removed altogether, which many are seeing as your collapse. Understand, many of us are not seeing this for some time now. Understand it's good to be prepared, but spiritually you'll be aware and already be prepared and not have the fear as many do at this time. This will come at a later time. Yes, but your vibration will be at a higher state also. There's nothing to worry about. You're at a third. Mostly we see you as a third level, third density state. Yes, fourth density, but still acting like much of the third density mentalities are still there. So much has to be done to get you into a higher vibration. And it is in work at this time. But not to worry. Don't put worry into anything. Just put love and compassion for yourself. As many have many tests still to go through. As for your financial collapse, I will not put any worry into that. Yes, many are bringing up constantly. As they just beating themselves over the head with it, which is fine as part of their as part of their soul upbringing, which is fine. When I say soul upbringing, I mean you're basically bringing up yourself, basically. Or even when we look at another way, you're bringing each other up. You're all going through this process together. So you're upbringing each other. It's one way of looking at it. But as for his financial situation, we do realize that it is bothering many. As because of the pressures of it, yes. But as for we like to at least erase that whole thought and motion of that. But some Essassani do feel like they need to bring it up because it only does bring up your vibration to a certain extent. And it depends on who you're speaking to. Many do not wish it to happen. They are not ready for it. Yes, even your light workers, they do not realize many are not ready either. They are just not. They might think they are until it happens. So it's best not for it to happen anytime soon. We see it as a stability there. And nothing to worry about. But we do see it constantly flowing through your world, as many are bringing fear of the end of the world and things of that sort. Really, the aliens aren't coming anytime soon, but your spirituality is going into a higher gear. That we do see, which will bring in more of your alien energies in this spirit form. As for physicality, it's a possibility. Depends on who you connect to. But many things are in the works at this time. We send you love from our society, and no worries. We send you love, of course, from the Essassani race, as we prefer, at least from our collective, prefer to be called. Blessings to you. Always much love. Greetings. We are called the Continuum race. We are a humanoid, but we are of several races. Reptilian, humanoid, and other light beings of your higher density levels. We say to you, welcome to knowing of our existence. We are from the Orion constellation, but we travel throughout all constellations. Our connection with you is of your past, of your ancient worlds. Some of your civilizations used to be our civilizations. Was our civilizations, meaning ours and yours, of course. Our culture brought to you much cultivation As for farming, an understanding of the nature of your earth, of how to feed yourselves, of how to find nourishment, and much of that has been lost throughout your time, for good reason, by other entities. But we send you our love, as we feel that it is necessary for some of you to connect to us. We are of a sixth, seventh density. We do have fourth density beings also that go into the sixth and seventh also. We do have a ship outside your Earth at this time, around your sun. And that's as close as we plan on getting to your world at this moment, as we judge by what is the best to connect to you. What is the best way to communicate? One moment, we are gathering. One moment. There are many beings with us that are of a feline origins. We have different species that we have different ways of appearance. You can call me one, because we feel like we're one. Our consciousness connects throughout our communities. Our ships have much cultivation. As for farming, and we can teach you our ways of telepathy, of higher density farming, of civilization without harm to others. I imagine that would be, many would like to hear about that. Only reason we see understand that many of you here, some of the violent nature are service to self beings. This is why they get angry and by not getting their way, so they go negative on others. Most likely they've had service to self lifetimes recently, and they're here to clear out that karma and that negativity. But for them to do that, they must get all of their anger out, and that is to go through the punishments of being a service to self being. Some go into violence, some go into murder, which is the same thing as violence. These are mostly service to self beings that are trying to clear this negativity out or having difficulty doing so. They come here to do it quicker, but they do have difficulties doing this. And many of them are on a suicidal boat, as I would call it. That is not kind, but many of them are of the suicidal status of service to self beings, have much negativity. They cannot get their way as they do in other worlds, so they come here. They not get what they want, and they go into the suicidal direction. Not all beings are like this, but many are. I will say most are. Many service to self beings are here on this planet, as you can see, but there's mostly light beings here, as you see that most of you do not want war, which is lovely. But it's still difficult to find peace among each other, which is quite understandable. Difficulties after difficulties, but you are doing well. You'd be surprised how bad it can truly get. Your world is still here, isn't it? That's saying a lot. So there's much here that needs to be understood about your culture, of how to bring a healing into it, and many beings have enforced their energies here to assist with the healings of your earth. There is much to be said, but not at this time. We're allowing you to find the answers, but if they are not found, we will bring them to you when the time is right. Many of you are connected to the sun. As for having a lifetime, as for being of a light being, a being without a body, of more energy, and many are consuming many things to fill their bodies because they've never had an incarnation like this. It is okay. But as for raising your vibration of this earth, is just to be you and just to be you, which is a higher energy being. So it's your job, well, you call it a job, but to find who you are. Science doesn't have to be hard either. A more positive outlook will bring you to who you truly are. The positivity is opening up many doors while negativity closes many of them. It is difficult to bring a positivity constant, we understand, but that's part of the testing. We send light and love to all of you in this direction of a new world. Blessings to you from our civilization to yours. Blessings. Greetings to you. I am Raphael of the Archangel Energies. To you, we send you our love, of course, always. As your spiritual self becomes more known, and this physicality becomes more understood. There'll be many challenges coming to many of you, but not to let those hold you down, to let your spirit brighten, and to keep it at a pace of light. Ah, yes. And I'm being told that are many here that ask for answers and do not like the answers. They wish to connect to as many beings as they can until they get the answer they are looking for. These are souls that need much healing, that are here asking for these answers. They're not receiving the answer they're looking for because many, not all, but many here are miserable. And it is quite true and quite difficult for many souls to be healed here because they feel like they do not belong here. And they are ready to leave as soon as possible, which means they need to be here even longer because they must find peace here and find happiness within themselves and who they are. Because they are neglecting their direction here in life, their place here as to bring others more enlightenment. But yes, it is good to share their knowledge, but also to share their love. Sharing your love is more important than sharing your knowledge. Understand, yes, and there are also other beings here that share their negativity quite often because that's all they know, because that's what they're here to do. Which is fine. That is their business. But if they think they can consume darkness with light with darkness, they must think again. But for all of you, yes, that are unsettled here, realize you have many tests here. And these tests, yes, are being neglected to a certain degree, being avoided, because the love of thyself is very difficult to connect to, which is many of you are here to accomplish. It is love for thyself, love for thy moment, love for thy situations, negative or positive, love for thy existence here on earth. Then when you have that, you will know your answers to your questions without asking them. We send you love always. But yes, many of you have had many journeys, and many journeys that some do not want to proceed with. But much healing is needed there for thyself. You can always call on the angels for healing. We are there for you. That's right. Blessings, much love.